Well, hello, yes, it's me, Kenny Polcari, your host of the party, and today is Tuesday, November 12th, 2024, and here I am, back at the iconic New York Stock Exchange, at the main trading floor behind me, and I'm in the gallery as I make this video. So, what is it? Here are the things you need to know for today to get your day started. Well, stocks closed at another new high last night. The dollar continues its rally, oil falls, and gold gets punched in the face. Unbelievable. Bitcoin and anything crypto is celebrating Gary Gensler's demise. Lots of Fed speak this week, and pay attention to what they say, because that will be very important, getting insight into what they're really thinking. And what do we have for dinner? Well, it's a side dish for your Thanksgiving table. It's the stuffed Cubanelle Peppers. Okay, so the post-election rally continued to push the indexes higher. The Dow gaining another 305 points or 7/10. The S&P up 6 points or 1/10, closing above 6,000 though, right? The Nasdaq was up 12 points. It did struggle a bit, right? As chip stocks were lower on the day. Think Nvidia down 1.6, AMD down 0.5%, Broadcom down 2.6%, Intel down 4.4%, Qualcomm down 1.5%. The Russell continues to enjoy the company of buyers, outperforming all the other indexes, rising another 35 points or 1.5%. The transports added 212 points or 1.2%, while the equal weighted S&P gained 40 points or 0.5%. Now the equal weighted S&P outperformed its sister index, the regular S&P, right? Hinting at the ongoing broadening out of this rally. Recall, the S&P is a market capitalization index, so large market cap companies have a greater influence on the index. The equal weighted S&P removes that influence, so all stocks have this equal weight, which then gives us insight to where the money is moving. Street strategists making note of shifts in stock positioning as the year end progresses, particularly money moving from tech into financials, right? The XLF was up 1.5 points yesterday. Industrials, the XLE up 0.8. Consumer discretionary, a sector that has done well all year, up another 2%. Retail up 1.5%. Airlines up 2.2%. Oil exploration and production, the XOP up 1.5%. Aerospace and defense, and that makes sense, the XAR up 1.5%. We saw money move out of tech. The XLK was down 0.6. Healthcare was down 0.6. Basic materials down 0.4, and real estate, the XLRE, was down nearly 1 full percentage point. Bitcoin surging to more than 87,000, right? It's up 35% since the election and 106% year to date. And that's causing all kinds of excitement in the sector. Coinbase, the biggest beneficiary, exploded up 86% in the last 7 days alone. And all this is a direct result of Trump's position on crypto, which is in complete contrast to the current administration, leaving Gary Gensler soon to be on the unemployment line. Other names in the group included PayPal up 42% year to date, Block up 62% year to date, Fiserv up 62% year to date. The dollar gained another 0.5% to end the day at 105.49, and that sent the Bloomberg Commodity Index lower, right, falling by another 1%. Oil lost 3.2% to end the day at 68.15, but it's trying to find support this morning as it's up about 0.8 at 68.60. Gold got punched in the face, falling $68 to end the day at 26.25 yesterday. This morning, gold is down another $26 at 25.99, and it appears to want to test intermediate support down at 25.66. Now, the bond market was closed yesterday for Veterans Day, but this morning, the 2 years yielding 4.3%. That's up a little bit from Friday, and the 10 years yielding 4.34%, both up from Friday. Analysts are expecting the 10-year to test last week's high of 4.47 as investors consider what the upcoming inflation data may say about underlying inflation. The CPI is due out tomorrow. Month-over-month figures for top line and core CPI are expected to remain stable. Year-over-year reads for top-line CPI is expected to tick up to 2.6% from 2.4%, while core CPI year-over-year is expected to remain unchanged at 3.3%. PPI is due out on Thursday, and that is expected to tick higher on all reads. Top line is expected to come in at up 0.2% month-over-month versus last month's 0%, while core PPI month-over-month is expected to tick up to 0.3%, up from 0.2% last month. Year-over-year figures coming in at plus 2.3%, up from 1.8%, so that's a bit concerning. And core PPI up plus 3%, up from 2.8%. So we ask, will this put the brakes on the rally? Well, we're about to find out. This morning, futures are finally taking a breath. Dow futures down 90, S&P's down 17, NASDAQ down 70, while the Russell is down 18, as some analysts are concerned that investors, traders, and algos have taken stocks to levels that are now way overextended. All of the indexes are kissing or breaching the relative strength index up at the 70 level. That suggests stocks are overbought, something that I made clear on, and I warned you about both on Friday and then yesterday morning again. And think about it, it does make some sense. Stocks have been on a tear since last Wednesday. At some point, they just need to digest the news and the moves, right? European markets are a bit weaker as well this morning. Spain is down 7/10, while France is 1.25% lower. German inflation data come in at plus 2.4% after rising 1.8% in September. Again, not what the ECB wants to see. Later in the week, Europeans are going to have to digest Eurozone industrial production, Eurozone GDP, and UK GDP, in addition to our US inflation data. Bank of England Governor Bailey and ECB President Christine Lagarde are to speak on Thursday. The S&P closed at 6,001, up 6 points yesterday. And while that is exciting, I suspect that stocks are going to need to digest all this news, right? The S&P gapped up on November 6th, leaving a hole on the chart. On the 5th, it closed at 57.82. On the 6th, it opened at 58.62. That's an 80-point gap. So don't be surprised if we see us fill that gap over the next couple of weeks. Much is going to depend on the eco data that we're going to get this week, in addition to the CPI and PPI data that we discussed. Real average hourly earnings are due out year over year. They're due out tomorrow. Retail sales are due out on Friday, along with industrial production and capacity utilization. Earnings today include Home Depot, Archer Daniels, Hertz, as well as a handful of others. We're also going to hear from Fed Governor Christy Waller and Minneapolis Neely Kashkari and Philadelphia's Patty Harker. Tomorrow we're going to hear from Kansas City's Jeffrey Schmidt, Dallas's Lori Logan, and St. Louis' Alberto Musalem. Thursday is going to bring Fed Chair J.J. Powell, New York's Johnny Williams, and Fed Governor Adriana Kugler. So pay attention to what they say. Listen, any questions, give me a call. I'm always happy to discuss markets, action, what's happening, and putting together a plan to help you build generational wealth. Okay, so what do we have for dinner? This isn't really dinner, it's a side dish to your Thanksgiving table. They're stuffed Cubanelle peppers, right? It's just another Thanksgiving vegetable that we serve in our house, so try it because they are delicious. Cubanelle peppers are those long Italian green peppers they use for stuffing, right? Pick up a dozen from the store and then try this out. You want to cut off the tops and take out the seeds. Then you need Italian seasoned breadcrumbs and you need olive oil. That's it. You need like 3 things. You're going to put the breadcrumbs in a bowl. You're going to add some olive oil, just enough to get them wet, but not enough to soak them, right? You want them to be like wet sand, right? Mix it and get it all nice and moist. Now, using a teaspoon, carefully stuff the pepper, pushing the breadcrumbs deep into the pepper with your finger if you need to do that. Once it's stuffed, place them in the baking dish, alternating head to toe, right? So that they all fit in the dish. Preheat your oven at 375 degrees. Drizzle just a tiny bit of olive oil over the top of the peppers. Not too much because they're going to make their own oil. So trust me, don't overdo it. You want to cover this with tin foil, place it in the oven, bake for 30 minutes. Then you're going to remove the foil, leave them in the oven, and let them brown up a bit. Maybe it's another 10 minutes, right? If there's a lot of oil in the pan, you can take some out using the spoon, but don't take it all out. Leave just a little bit in the bottom. Let them brown in the oven for maybe 10 to 15 minutes or so. Then remove them and let them stand and cool a bit. Now, if you overstuff them when you were making them, then expect some of that stuffing is going to have come out of the pepper. No problem. It's all good. Serve this alongside, serve this on a nice big platter alongside all the other vegetables that you're going to have on your Thanksgiving table. And we got more days to talk about what other vegetables those could be. In any event, it is Tuesday. It is now getting a little bit chilly in New York City. It's only 45 degrees out this morning versus yesterday. It was 65 or 70 during the day. It was really beautiful. But it is November, so we expect the days to get cooler. And in any event, until tomorrow, take good care.